morning, good evening, good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to the Zwift Live broadcast of the World of Fusion Racing League. We're out on the Richmond World's course for 3 laps today. I'm Nathan Garrick, I'm going to be your host for today. 3 laps going to be a longer race out there today for the A, B, and C, and D category. We'll be covering the A, B, and C category out there today. We'll be jumping in with the Ds as much as we possibly can toward the end. We've got about 3 live feeds for the race. About 30 seconds to go to the start of the racing. Quick little bit of information about what exactly this racing series is. You can head on over to zwiftpower.com at any time to get a full description, as well as over at zwift.com/events. You can find all the events there as well. Make sure to go ahead and follow Fusion over on their Facebook as well. I believe they do have a Twitter, perhaps also an Instagram, but Fusion's doing a great job putting together these races. Fusion ECT Esports Cycling Team. Real quick, for those who are unfamiliar with the new requirements, one of the reasons we do cover this racing series is because they do an amazing job of organizing the verification side of things. They do weigh-ins as well as dual recordings for those that are top 3 in the B category, as well as A+ and A rider category. So pretty cool to see the kind of developments that this cycling team is putting together. But before we get into any of that information, actually, we are out on course right off the bat here. I did see over 100, I think there's over 100 riders actually jumping into the A category as they are heading on over toward the start/finish for the UCI World's course out there. So we are taking a look here at Lursveen here from the Vikings team, one of the stronger riders to be watching out for a win perhaps out there today. I did see also, I mean, as far as the teams that are out here today, definitely a lot of the teams that are starting to really take a focus in on the esports world of Zwift. I know that Canyon ZCC, we were talking before with the team manager, they are definitely focusing in on this one. Obviously Fusion, as you do see all the Fusion names out there as well. I did see the name of Gavin Dempster from Team Draft, one of the strongest riders we've ever seen coming out of the UK. Watch out for him for a late attack over the climbs. If you're unfamiliar with this course, 2015 Richmond World's course, it's going to be pretty chill from the get-go here as we do head around toward the first little sprint banner out on course. But then after that, we will be heading on toward Libby Hill. There will be some downhill sections moving on over into Libby Hill, and then we're going to hit 23rd Street, which is an extremely intense climb up to about, I believe it's 15% at its base grade. Then it's Governor Hill climb into the finish line. They'll be doing 3 laps. We're looking at probably around 20 to 22 minute laps actually, so about an hour of racing out here today. The B category is just getting out on course here. We'll make sure to follow in with their start as well. Let's go ahead and see how things are lining up for them. It is 91 racers. We're seeing 54th right now for M here coming out of Denmark. Going to be a lot of Danish flags as this is a put together by a Danish organizer out here with the Fusion ECT. Going to move our way forward here in the B category. See who's leading things out here. Not always the best place to be toward the front end of the race, but we are seeing Kristen Falk here actually from Canyon ZCC. That's going to be that pink and blue kit right in the middle of your screen. A lot of the women do jump into the B category in order to race out on Zwift against each other. So be watching out for them in that B category. I think the Canyon ZCC team is definitely showing up in force today. So Kristen Falk will follow along with her, as well as a few of the other ladies out there from this team. The C category has just jumped out on course as well. We'll jump in with them in just a second here. It is going to be 68 riders in this race. Also Canyon here in the C category with Reese Howell, actually the team manager, I believe, is out on course racing with the C's as we're going to go ahead and see where things are at with Reese. And here he is, 31st place. 68 riders in total. We'll see how he ends up amongst all the other riders out there. Now, if you do want to follow along with the race live for the results as they do go along, you can do so over on zwiftpower.com. There's a great live tracker that they've put together, and it also is able to show you exactly where the riders are out on course at any given time. We'll give you guys a quick little shot at that from our desktop here. I can give you guys an idea of exactly what this looks like if you have not checked out zwippower.com yet and their new live tracker. So go ahead and head on over to zwippower.com, and you're able to see exactly where the A category is, the B category is with the live tracker. You'll see they are going to be climbing Libby Hill 3 times. That is going to be the main place out on course that you can be watching out for. You can also see then the live tracker does update with A category, B category, C category, and then the D category there as well. So great little tool that the community has put together. Shout out to James Hodges and the KISS team as well that did help put that together initially. So back in with the A's, though. Actually, excuse me, we're back in with the B category. Kristen Falk following along here at 47th place. They're heading into the cobbles. A little bit of uphill grind here for a moment. It's going to be a 1 to 3% gradient for just a second, and then things are going to settle down into this flatter section of the course. Not going to probably see too many of attacks just yet out on this section of course. I think a lot of the riders are going to be waiting specifically for the first time up and over the top of Libby Hill. I have a feeling that that is going to be the main section of course that the riders are going to really be wanting to be focusing on. Now, as always, if you do want to interact with the broadcast, you always can do so by jumping on into you can go ahead, you always can do so, obviously, by jumping on into the socials. We are live over on YouTube, Twitch, as well as Facebook right now. So go ahead and say hello. Hi, Nathan. Any teams that can compete number-wise with Fusion? That's going to be the first one we're going to answer here, as it's going to be a little bit calmer through this section of the course. So we'll definitely jump into the socials here and answer any questions or comments as we are getting underway here. Dennis Both, thanks a lot for the question there. Not sure there's going to be, I'm looking over at the numbers here over on Zwip Power, and Fusion definitely have a huge amount to begin with. But Fusion ECT are the official esports team. There's a development team there as well, so there's going to be a little bit of a difference there. I do think that Canyon ZC, as well as a couple of other teams out there, Callus is a new team, if you guys are unaware of. There is a new team out on course. Callus is their sponsor, main sponsor. We're going to have to get some more information on that, but it is a break-off from the KISS Racing team. Tom O'Kalin, Vidar Mail, some of these riders that you may be familiar with that have done very well in the past amongst these higher-end priority events. Otto Erdland, Hansen Berg we're seeing here. We're seeing old Christian Fagerli as well as Morten Vang. I mean, there's some very high-end talent that came off of the KISS Racing team actually to jump on over onto this new Callus ESRT team. So be watching out for them out on course. I would definitely be thinking that with their new development out here, and the reality of them wanting to really get some results probably for their new launch of a team. I have a feeling they're going to have some of their new, their sponsors as well that they have been putting together to develop this new esports team. We're going to be watching these broadcasts, so be watching out for them to perhaps try and put a show on today. They're going to be playing very smart, I think, though. Here's Vidar Mail. Actually, I'll be watching out for him for one of the attacks over the top of 23rd Street. Vidar Mail, very strong climber. He's got a punch. We've seen him win in the sprints before as well, so watch out for him. New team Callus here coming out of Norway. Super strong team. Very cool to see. Looking through here, a few more comments coming on through. Bobby McDowell saying that Libby Hill's where it's going to be at, and it definitely is going to be where it's at. Bobby McDowell, good to see you over on YouTube. Vyasan has been riding this course well lately. We're hearing from Aaron over on YouTube as well, and Vyasan is out there. He is streaming as well, live over on Twitch. One of the cool things that we are able to have, almost kind of like, if you guys are familiar with Twitch Rivals, which is a program in which esports takes place amongst the community of streamers. And so there's a community events that go on over on Twitch in Apex, CSGO as well, well, maybe not in CSGO so much, but in PlayerUnknown and some of these other massive online competitive FPS games. A lot of times they have these community events where everybody competes, but you can also watch the main esports casted event alongside the streamers who then stream their live perspective of it. Similar to what we may be doing here today with a lot of, I think, the Canyon ZCC riders out there currently streaming. I think probably one of the best ways right now to go and check out those live views would be to head on over to Twitch and search Zwift. If you do find the game, you'll be able to find where those riders are streaming from over under the category of Zwift over on Twitch. Some of of them may be restreaming to YouTube or Mixer or Facebook, as a lot of them do know how to set up those restreams as well. Back in with the racing, though, here. We are following on with Vidar Mail. Things are very calm here at this point, though. I don't think anybody's going to really be making any moves until we do hit that main climb out there today. We are seeing Stevie Young here, though, it looks like, from Canyon ZCC. Speaking of Steve Young, I'd be watching out for this rider. He is one who I think could take the sprint if it does come down to a sprint, but up on the top of the Governors is going to be very difficult, so maybe he's just going to be looking out for these sprint sections out on course. We are seeing Lang here giving a little bit of dig into the sprint section. Off the front, Philip Diners here as well from Canyon ZCC, so Canyon ZCC has shown up in force out here today. We are seeing Dan Fleeman here from DDC now, 4.1 watts per kilogram. We saw him, I believe it was out on the London course, actually, for the Fusion ECT League that was just a few weeks back, being one of the stronger riders to take on the climbs. We'll see a Fleeman here, ex-professional racer at the top level, UCI, on the road. See what he's got to show out here amongst the Zwift crowd here today now. Looking at all the kits as they do make their way through, and we are going to see those Wahooligan kits out there in the blue. That is going to be the development team for the Fusion team out there. That's the kit that they are donning out there. The Vikings are going to be in that blue and black, as you can see on the left-hand side of the screen right now. Watching out for the Vikings, as I believe they're showing up in force out here today. Had a little conversation with their team manager, Bill Clinton, and he was saying that they were definitely going to be focusing it out here. Lursveen being, I believe, in the top 5 the last time we saw Fusion League finishing up, so going to be looking for a podium perhaps out there with the support of the Vikings team. So be watching out for the blue and the black in that Tooele, California kit currently. I do know they're looking to try and get a kit in game as they're focusing in on the top level priority events for all things esports here out on Zwift. Some of the more chat coming on through. Good to see so many people hanging out over on Twitch. I am seeing Chris Min as well as CS Tricks. Jadris Singh Broom out there as well, probably coming on over from the esports Facebook group. Thanks for jumping on in to the broadcast. All right, as they do head down the downhill section here, they are going to be heading along the river in just a moment in Richmond and through the industrial park. Tom Gaggs here for the BRT team, another team we'll be watching out for today. BRT did show up for a top 10, I think, in the last time we did do a Fusion ECT League. So watch out for the BRT team to try and be taking down some of the points out here today. So many riders here for this A to A plus category, actually. Interesting to see how many have shown up. I'm going through the category. 78 riders. Absolutely crazy. Looking at the current watts per kilogram that we are seeing on average, and it does look like it's pretty high regardless of how calm the course has been so far. 4.5 watts per kilogram currently coming from the Callis Rutherford. We're seeing Morton Vang up into 4.4, also riding for Callis out here today. Highest watts per kilogram so far to be averaged amongst these riders. I think about 4.6 here coming from Sheehan for Blarney CC, riding solo out there for that team, I believe. Not going to have a whole lot of support amongst amongst this large groups in this peloton that's hammering down here. Good to see Mark Bernard there as well. Good to see you over on Facebook, as well as Frank the Tank. Thanks for jumping in over on the Twitch feed. Dan Fleeman here, 4.3 watts per kilogram that we're looking at, hammered away. Let's jump in with the B category here real quick before we do hit the first time up over the top of Libby Hill. That's going to be the section that is really going to start the fireworks, I think. But in the B category, we are looking here at Kristen Falk here amongst the women out on course. Now, the B category is a mixed category today. For sure. You can jump in, actually, regardless of gender, you can jump into any category you want to. I believe a lot of the women are going to be jumping into that B category, though, that are going to be competing. Kristen Falk for Canyon ZCC is out here. I do believe that we're going to have a few others out here today. I think we do have Linda Isaacson, actually, from the Vikings team here out there in that B category as well. We'll see if we can call in any more of the riders out here from the live results list, get an idea of where everybody's riding at here. Maybe a couple of women jumping into the A category. I'm going to double check here real quick and see. But I think it's mainly this B category that they have slid into here. Sally Manders out there as well in the C category. Good to see her hammering away here. Looking through, though, in the Bs, I believe it's just going to be Kristen Falk that I've got registered for the day. So in the B category, it's going to be her solo out here, I think, racing against the rest of the men as they do head on over toward Libby Hill in this B category for the first time. We do see Considine here now. It looks like Jan der Grind there as well. We are seeing a Zwift employee jumping into there as well. Whenever you do see that big Z badge, that does mean that it is an employee of Zwift that's jumped out on course as they are heading through this industrial park to be heading along the river in just a moment here, and then it's going to be all out up and over the top of Libby Hill in just a moment. That'll be the first section that we will start to separate the cream of the crop here. They will be rising to the top of that Libby Hill for looking for that that split in the peloton. We'll get a lead group most likely, as it is a very intense gradient to the top. 6% gradient average, but they're going to be doing it at about a minute to a minute and 30 seconds between the categories. Off the front here a little bit here, I am seeing, I believe that is a Vikings rider now in the blue and black kit. It is going to be Thomason here now trying to get away out of Norway here. 157 beats per minute, 240 watts. Unable to really get much done. BRT now with green closing things down. And it does look like Fusion Dev there going with it as well. So not a whole lot happening there. Just a little bit of a kick over that little gradient. There are a couple little undulations through here, but it didn't make much happen. Back in with the A category, though, this is the moment of truth for the race, as they are going to be heading up and over the top of Libby here in just a second here. Fleeman here making his way to the front. They did start the K1 right there. There's the red line across the road, signifying the start of the climb officially here now. Toward the front now, we did see Diner here, one of the strongest riders we've ever seen out on Zwift, that's for sure. Canyon ZCC leading things out. Philip Diner out of Germany here with Wigforce here now trying to follow it up out of Sweden. It doesn't look like it's going to be Dempster, though. We said that Dempster was going to be one to be watching out for, and Gavin Dempster right behind him here with Clark there from the BRT team now looking to try and close things down. But Diner looks like he's made some separation already as they do heading up over the top of Libby for the first time. There's the left-hand turn onto the cobbles now. Clark now from BRT now closing things down. Dig Deep coaching. Here comes Dan Fleeman. He showed us he knew how to climb, but it's Kalman here, the winner of the last, I believe Alexis Kalman was the winner of the last time of the last Fusion League here. He makes his way to the front now. The separations are not happening. Look how strong all the riders are here. They're about 40 seconds into this climb. What's the time going to be up and over the top here? Fleeman from Dig Deep Coach looking to take it, but it's going to be Bergen now out of Norway hammering across here. Amazing job there as we do bring in the leaderboard. 105.5 with M. Lind right behind there at 106.4. Fleeman through for third now, it looks like. No separation. This is why we need 3 times up over the top. Not like the old days, boys and girls, as we used to get splits a lot easier, but with the kind of talent I think that we have out here today, it's going to be very difficult to try and get away from this group here now. BRT on the front with Clark now. Kalman following it up. Lind, Bergen, Vang all there. Dan Fleeman. M. Bank from Fusion is there as well. Madsen, Lursfien from the Vikings still in the top 10. Line of Vyausten here sneaking into the top 15 or so. Here's Vyausten 1.2 resting up as you can see here. Let's go ahead and see if we can bring in their wattages now. 163 beats per minute. 402 watts now. Line of Vyausten here now looking to maybe be on the attack at this point. This is the moment of truth, perhaps. 23rd Street is always an extremely difficult section, of course, here, as we do see Lino now looking like he does in real life, too, with that haircut. All the Canyon ZCC boys. Ollie Jones is in here. Alex West. Canyon ZCC, they've been quiet up to this point, I think, waiting for this section, knowing that this is where the real split was going to be happening now. Diner looking to lead things out. Where's his teammates? That's going to be the question. Looking behind, we do see there is one more Canyon ZCC, but Nigel Clark following it up. Fleeman's there as well. Bergen continues to push the pace toward the front here now. No split. It's all strung out, though, at this point. Nor there, along with Vang. Collis is still hanging tough. It's only the first time over the main climbs. Governor is going to be the next one. They're going to get a little bit of rest here, finding the wheels. This downhill is dangerous, though. 11% downhill gradient can be extremely difficult to get back on terms with. They're going to use that group behind, it looks like here, to try and find some speed, get all back together here, but the split has happened. We had 78 riders, I believe, in the main group to begin with. Stevie Young looking to grab on. Looks like Canyon ZCC has made plenty of riders that have made the pack here. Mail off the back here with Lind. It looks like they've got to close this down right away, because I don't think, with a little bit of reprieve up here in this main group ahead, as we do look ahead here, 3 seconds is the difference. These riders sitting in, they're going to go down to 4 watts per kilogram or so, even 3.5. They're going to get a little rest, and I have a feeling, knowing that there's a split now at this point, it's going to be everything you got to over the top of Governors, and they're going to look to split things again, not allow people like James Phillips here to come back. This is your current reigning UK national champion of Zwift here, 5.7 watts per kilogram coming from him, and Phillips, you do not want him to be in a sprint with you to the line here. And Phillips looking to close things down. Canyon definitely showing up on the day. Madsen now coming with it. It looks like this is all going to come back together. They're going to have to put a little extra effort with that split that did happen, but up into 8.8 watts per kilogram. Phillips here showing he's got the wattage to throw down, looking to make his way straight to the front, knowing that there may be a little bit of a turning of the screws here as riders are coming back, trying to recover from the climbs over Libby and 23rd. Now into Governor Street here. Here we go. Ollie Jones toward the front. Soren Bay is there as well. Soren Bay, 8.3. Dig Deep coaching here with Dan Fleeman now toward the front. Philip Diner, Germany, on the front, pushing the pace here. Looks to be the workhorse today. Does not want anybody coming along with him. They could have a Canyon ZCC team time trial if they put enough on the front, but Austin's a few too many wheels back as Dan Fleeman just follows the wheel there of Diner. We are seeing Mads Bang Anderson right on the wheel of Dan Fleeman there behind him. Vang there from Callis as well, hanging tough in the top 5. Far ups there. Lursme now. Vikings in the top 10 here still, hanging around right at those wheels that they're supposed to, as you do see the blue and black kits up and out of the saddle, left-hand side there of the pack. It is going to be far up there from the Vikings, looking to try and maybe get his teammate Lursme to get back onto the wheel. Here comes Austin there with the hair, making his way to the front, taking after the mad scientist himself, Greg Leal, who we haven't seen him broadcast for a while, and the attacks are on with the hair at the front here, making it happen now, and this is absolutely amazing effort here from Austin. 2 seconds now, it looks like, and he's starting to break the pack. Jones now looking up into 8 watts per kilogram, looking to get across here and not bring anybody with him. Orange numbers is what you need for that in order to get away from the pack here. It looks like it's going to be Ollie Jones out of New Zealand here, 428 watts going with Austin, and this could be a 2-up team time trial here. Fleeman knowing that this is a threat. Austin goes to 10 watts per kilogram, 1 lap down, as you can see here. And for the time, we're looking at a 2019, absolutely flying out here. Soren Bay, 6.3 watts per kilogram, trying to close things down here in this A category race. And it looks like it's going to be coming back together. The pressure is on, though, as we are seeing toward the back of this pack here. Kalman here now, 179 beats per minute, just hanging on the current Danish national champion here. Kay Norris there as well. Lynn just jumping on. Vidar Mail from Callis, though, off the back. The Norwegian national champion, unable to hang on over the top of this climb, maybe just getting in shape for the Zwift season here at this point. It looks like it's going to be a crazy season here out on Zwift with how incredibly fast these riders are going. This is the current situation, though. Looks like we've got about 20 riders off the front. This is your main pack here. It's going to be 2 more laps of absolute mayhem, and already people are on the ropes. It's nothing but haymakers left and right here. So absolutely killing it. Great job out there to the A category so far. Let's go ahead and jump on in with our B category riders, as I am looking at 47th place out here out on course. It is going to be Thomason here along with Martinson here out of Norway as they make their way up on the top of the Governor Street climb. Moving our way up here in this Chase group up into about the 40th to 30th place here. It's going to be Keith from the TFC as well as T. Frost. Peterson here from Fusion Dev. We are seeing K. Peterson here as well, maybe coming out of the same household actually. Uno's there, maybe playing a little bit of a card game with his fellow racers there, as it's going to be just ahead of him a few of these Fusion Dev riders now. Let's go ahead and see where first place is, though, amongst this B category. Cruz as well as Lind. This looks to be the main group now trying to hang on, as first place here is going to be N. Lawson now. coming out of the UK. Ryder here now as well, leading things out in that B category. And this is going to be the main pack. It looks like we've got a solid maybe 15 to 20 riders, though, as there's going to be Karluk there hammering away in this B category with Kroll and a few other the Fusion Dev riders now as they make their way through for the B category for their first lap. Going to be 2 more to go. 2 more times through this crazy difficult course out here. There is a good number of riders in the C category just about to make their way up and over the top of Governor Street as well. That is being led out by C. Bowers as well as G. Laywood and Turn there coming out of Norway. Let's go ahead and jump in with them real quickly as they are about to start their climb up on the top of Governor Street. Good to see the C category with so many numbers as well. 68 riders in here. The Vikings now represented in almost all of the categories out here, so they've really been showing up on the day here. Norway hammered away 470 watts up and on the saddle. It's going to be Hermo. It's going to be, it looks like Fuglord there as well. Gerber coming out of Germany. Followed up with Christian McDonald. One of the riders that we'll be watching out for is he had a solid result in the last Fusion ECT league series that we had just a few weeks back here. So be watching out for this rider coming out of the US of A in this C category. See Ryan there as well from the NTR team. They had some head-to-head battles out there. So they've made the first group now. It's going to be all about the endurance out here today. These are some longer races, and that's one of the things about these Fusion races. They are really aiming at the esports side of things, at really the competitive side of things out on Zwift, and I think that's why they've added the extra lap out there, really making sure that it's about the training and the fitness that you put in order to be a part of these top-end races, actually. Toward the front, though, it's going to be Laywood coming from GCC here, really putting the pressure on. 4.3 watts per kilogram, as you can see. Permer's trying to go with from the Netherlands, and Jern there as well out of Norway, sitting in third, just behind him, as we are looking here as they head into the lap/finish straight toward that UCI banner here in just a moment. Question that will come up almost always amongst these racers and riders out here is going to be what is going on with the watts per kilogram and the categories. And so if you are over watts per kilogram, make sure you are in the correct category. I am looking at some of the averages here. The B category is doing pretty well. They're all right up against that 4.0 watts per kilogram so far. So good on the B category there. Currently with leaders, 4.0, 4.1 amongst them. So they've really picked the correct categories. There are a couple of riders here in the C category that are a little bit over category limits, but again, it looks like the last time with some of the disciplinary measures that Fusion have put into the race, they've done an amazing job, it looks like here, of keeping everybody within those category limits. So shout out to Fusion, as well as all the riders out there choosing the correct category. If you are going to get an upgrade on the day, it will be known on ZwiftPower.com, so go ahead and make sure to take that upgrade and jump into the correct category next time you jump out onto the course. So in the C category, though, Christian McDonald there, 3.2 watts per kilogram, 457, it looks like, back from the main leaders in the A category. But he was able to make that lead group, but it looks like falling off pace here at this. Oh, no, he just grabbed back on, it looks like. So McDonald able to hang, but it is going to be Ryan, Charlie Ryan, I believe, that is one of the riders that has fallen off pace as they do come through this main section, this lap section of the course. So back in with the A category, though, I'm going to see where things are standing amongst the riders. Ollie Jones, 4.6 watts per kilogram. Morton Vang into looks like a solid 4.9 watts per kilogram so far out on course. The split is, it looks like, now does Ollie actually have an 18-second gap? So apologies, everybody, I missed that, as it looks like Ollie Jones has broken away from the main pack here and has 23 seconds. We'll see if we can find it on the replay where exactly this happened, but this is already past the sprint section out on course here. Looks like he attacked the pack. We'll see if we can find the replay for everybody exactly on this, but he is off the front here, 5.6 watts per kilogram. This is a rider you don't want to give too much leeway to. Looking into the pack here, Philip Diner sitting in, Lionel sitting in as well. I believe Stevie Young might have made this main group here. It's going to be on the likes of Fusion as well. We've seen Adderman in there. Callus is in there as well. But how many riders are in here that can really get organized and not just drag the likes of Canyon up? We're seeing Alex West is in here. Look at all the Canyon ZCC that are still in and amongst this pack. As we look down from the helicopter view, 1, 2, 3, 3 riders here in the pink and blue. They're going to just be sitting in and following, as well as the UK national champion there. So James Phillips, it's actually 4 riders that are going to get a free ride from the rest of the riders here if they do choose to get organized and pull things in. So let's see if we can find the attack in the replays, everybody. As I believe, what an amazing effort here from Ollie Jones. And if we can find it, we will we'll bring it right on in to the feed here as best as we possibly can. But we did miss that section where it did take place here. We'll see if we can find it, though, for you. And if we do, we'll bring it into the feed. But it looks like a solid effort here being put in by Ollie Jones. Kalman here now, it looks like maybe on the – I have a feeling that Alexis Kalman may have had his partner, significant other, riding out on Zwift today, as it looks like he's stolen, or in the last couple of days, says, looks like he's stolen every one of the jerseys here for the women out on course here. But so Kalman riding here under the incorrect gender on the day, but look good to see Kalman out on course, though. Ollie Jones here now, 7.1 watts per kilogram, as we see him continue to kick 178 beats per minute. Solid effort here coming from Jones. 21 seconds, and this is the danger zone a lot of times that we do like to call it for these kinds of efforts, actually. There's a certain amount of time you do not want to give to a rider that's out on course looking to get away. It's almost the out of sight, out of mind section a lot of times that that you need to watch out for. And this may be it, actually, for these riders here. So we'll have to see if they're going to bring him back into the fold here. I'm not sure it's going to happen, though, as they are he's absolutely hammering 5.6, and this is the kind of effort Ollie Jones can hold on to this kind of a pace for quite a long time, actually. So be watching out for Jones to hold this and stay away. Now the question is going to going into Libby, though. Into the climbs, that's going to be the real question. I have a feeling that perhaps that may be the sections that he will not be able to, to match because of the kind of efforts that he has to put out here. It's going to be all about holding on to that FTP and then attacking those climbs at the same kind of pace that we are seeing these riders go at. So I'm looking through, and I believe he did attack going into the cobbled section. I am looking through here for the replay, and I am seeing the camera angles are just not quite good enough right now to really be able to grab for you where it happened. But it does look like it happened into the first cobbled section, a little uphill gradient, actually, where he did get away there. So that's going to be the section, of course. I think he did make that happen long before they hit that sprint. Now we are seeing, it looks like, or here now, along with Fleeman making his way to the front here. 145 beats per minute, though. I do not think these riders are really too worried about Jones. I have a feeling that they're just taking some confidence into the reality of the downhill that is going to assist them with the kind of speed that they can hold up against Jones. Because of the downhill into the industrial park, it's really going to make things difficult because the kind of speeds that this group will get up to through this next section, of course, it's probably going to bring down about 10, maybe 5 to 10 seconds on Jones. Then when they hit Libby Hill, there's going to be a reality of trying to close things down, and Jones may not be able to hold the kind of pace he needs to keep them off his wheel. We are seeing Jones here, 25 kilometers and 57 kilometers per hour, getting into that super tuck, which is going to give him a little bit of assistance on the speed here, as we do see him speeding up on this negative 5% downhill gradient now at this point. And then Broad Street climb, we're seeing Broad Street sprint for Jones, as you are seeing there, was solid effort there on that leaderboard. And there's going to be lots of leaderboards for you guys that are unfamiliar with these. These are essentially, these are each one of the sections of the course that you are able to grab a jersey for. for the men. It is Ollie Jones who's holding down the fastest time for the lap. On the sprint section, it is going to be Jay Leclerc there at a 15:45. Looks like he went for that in a serious manner for the KISS Racing team, as he was a solid second or more ahead of the rest of the riders there. Up and over the top of the KOM, which is Libby Hill. It is going to be a 1 second by Bergen here. As you can see, you don't need to take down the KOM to be the race leader, though, as he was a full 3 seconds behind Ollie, but was able to jump on, onto the attack and get ahead. Maybe with the reservation that he did have for that climb, able to hold on to some energy to try and get away. Jones here, as we said, 10 seconds is all he's got at this point as the pack closes things down pretty quickly here. And as you can see, it definitely is to the advantage of the pack on those downhill sections, gaining lots and lots of speed. Each one of the riders, they're making their way to the front of the pack and taking the speed that they carry into that downhill to the front and allowing everybody else to gain speed behind them and bring that to the front there as well. So solid efforts here so far. Looking at 23rd Street, 22.82 here. Now, it's solid climbs. I think that the next climb up and over the top, we may see a little bit faster. It'll be interesting to see if we do get a sub 1 minute climb over the top of Libby Hill. I have a feeling it was a little bit of reservation knowing that it wasn't going to break up completely the first time over the top now. 2 seconds is no difference here at this point as Tolbill looks to close it down. And Fusion ECT has done the job. Now coming over the top, though, it's going to be Tolbill here, 5.1. Now looking to slow down. This is the counterattack here coming from Jep now. Solid effort. This is something to watch out for. This is close enough to Libby Hill. He may be able to get a gap and then still attack over the top. But it looks like Orth here coming to CLS as well as Bergen. Going to close it down, and we're all back together here with what looks to be, if we do head our way back to the back of the pack, it is going to be Cambier here coming out of France. Diner here sitting in, waiting for the next attack over the top. So the main group here, though, it does look like it is 31 riders with Magnus Brinch Larsen as well as Farup, Johan Wigros coming from the Swedish SCR team. Clement Cambier from 2RR France here. Alex West coming out of Canyon ZCC. Wesley Ooms riding for Team CLS is in there as well amongst this main pack. So lots of big talent in here. We'll keep on calling out all the teams that have shown up and made this front group. This 2RR France here, a newer team. Be watching out for them. They're showing up on the day, and I think that they're extremely motivated to get involved in the esports side of things here. So watch out for these riders, as this is a team that I think is motivated to get some results out here. And a little bit of information about them, actually. And they actually have a website as well as a Facebook and an Instagram. This new team out here, 2rr.fr, actually. Total Velo is the website that they are using for that. So it looks like it's one of their sponsors out there. So obviously lots of new, interesting to see developments amongst the Zwift racing teams as different sponsors looking to jump on board and be a part of this scene as these teams do grow. Lind here from Fusion now making his way to the front. Everybody's going to kind of be looking for position as they do look to hit this Libby Hill for the second time. This is going to be the main break, I think, out here. That's my prediction, that this climb will be the one to watch out for who is going to be in that top podium spot, or at least have a chance at the top podium spot. The first time over the top, you kind of clear out that initial nitrous oxide, but this is going to be about who's got the repeatability out there to really be able to hang on with that endurance mixed with the kind of punchiness that this course does bring on. Now, as we do head into the official climb, it's going to be about a little over 1 minute here, and it looks like it's going to be Lynn leading things out. Here comes Phillips, who did fall off last time from Canyon ZCC, was unable to hang on here. Phillips up and out of the saddle here, but here comes Diner again, always pushing the pace. Philip Diner loves to put the pressure on for these climbs here, as you can see. Lind here, Jones now as well, and it looks like Ollie Jones, who was off the front, now just looking to hang on toward the front of this pack here. Soren Bay, 6.5 watts per kilogram, but it looks like Diner again with the gap, but it's 2 seconds. This time, they're letting him get a little bit of wiggle room to work with here. He's got a gap here. He's already around the corner. It's 3 seconds as he hits the cobbles now. Mads Bang Anderson looks like looking to close things down for Fusion ECT. Here come those orange numbers. Diner starting to fade as the orange numbers come on. Look at the speed of the pack. Diner with a dropout. Diner has dropped out now at this point. He's going to have to get back on terms. All that speed lost here. The frustration most likely there. It's just like dropping a chain quick or a little bit of a mess up on the shifting through, just like in real life there when you have some situations, and it looks like Diner able to just try and grab back on. Here comes Cryogen though, leading things out. It's going to be Pantelier now with Bang Anderson now, as well as Soren Bay, Fusion ECT. That's your top three over the climb now, and it is a little bit slower this time through. It looks like Bergen still holding on to the fastest time over the top. No splits just as yet. Phillips still able to hang in there, it looks like, as well as Talbot from Splunk there. Still a large group. Anybody falling off the pace, we'll have to take a look back here and see. Cambier still there. Legvox still unable to hang on. The pressure's on Legvox. Larson as well. Tolbo, Swart, all falling off here. 4 have bit the dust. Diner now as well. Diner's got to put the effort in. He's off the back at 184, and they're going to hit 23rd Street. He's got to find this pack right now. It looks like Jones, View Austin as well as Cambier all making the way to the back to try and give him a wheel. It's going to be about this kick to the top here as the speed's increasing the downhill. Philip Diner, one of the favorites on the day, but that dropout has put him on the back foot. 2.7, 3.2 watts per gram, looking to hold on to some speed, but it's 5 seconds out. The pack is fading away from him. It's one of those situations just like in real life when you drop a wheel off and there's just not quite enough to bring it back in. Now on the front here, we're seeing Far Up driving the pace, and there's probably some smiles on some of the riders from the other teams, but no, it's View Austin from Canyon saying, sorry, it's all said and done for the Diner behind here because we got to push the pace. It's about the win out here today. 10% uphill gradient. Bergen here pushing the pace now at the front. Nor from Fusion Dev. Clark's there as well. Pantelier, Big Deep Coaching still involved with Dan Fleeman now. Adderman, Soren Bay, Vang still hanging on. The Vikings are still in here with Far Up and Lirsveen right next to each other, but it's going to be View Austin again, showing us why the haircut's making him fast. You look good, you go fast, and it looks like View Austin's avatar is no exception as he gets into the Super Tuck. 3-second gap here now, and it's 69 kilometers per hour as Bergen here looks to try and jump back on, but it's only 67. Fleeman now, 3 riders here trying to close it down. Is there as well. Pantelier, they all get back on terms, but View Austin's got a 4-second gap, but bumps it back into 500 watts here to try and hold on to that speed. It's going to be about getting into the Governor Street climb without anybody on his wheel, but it looks like they will take that speed from the group and get back on terms here. View Austin going to rest up, wait for Governor Street before they hit into their final lap. The A category just throwing punches left and right. They are dropping riders off, though, here and there. Diner now 40 seconds back. Looks like it's all said and done. Madsen, Fusion ECT looking to jump back on terms, but it's a 6-second gap. The chase is on from Cambier and Wigsford. Ollie Jones, after that attack, another Canyon rider unable to hang on. He may be able to close this down. It's only 5 seconds, and Governor not quite as punchy. Could be a little bit more of a steady effort and hang on, but he's got to do it now because this race is about to be decided into the final lap here. Alex West, Canyon, though, he's been so quiet. Maybe this is the rider they're really looking at to take the win here. We could see an attack from him. Maybe James Phillips as well. I do believe he's made this front group. Canyon, though, starting to whittle down on the riders here. They're going to have to make something happen, it looks like. 3 riders from Canyon still involved. Now at the front, it's going to be the Vikings, seeing that perhaps one of the stronger teams is on the back foot. It's also BRT with Nigel Clark. He's been very smart, sitting on wheels the entirety of the race so far. But it's Fleeman again at the front, professional rider who knows how to be cagey here, knows when people are in a little bit of a struggle, and I think he's sensing a little bit of blood in the water. He's making the attack here. Fleeman 9 watts per kilogram, 500 watts as you can see, and it's going to be a gap that's opening up here for Dig Deep Coaching. 1 second, and this is a smart move because even if the pack comes back, it will be splintered once they come over the top here. This is the kind of climb where if he keeps the speed, it's going to be very difficult for some of these riders to hold on if he just continues to turn the screws here. And that's what it's going to be all about, a climb of attrition in some senses. Attrition into the VO2 max. And Bang Anderson here now, along with Lionel V. Austin here, looking to close things down as they know Fleeman is a serious threat from Dig Deep Coaching now. V. Austin here trying to go across and make this a two-up time trial now. as Vyasen 7.2 looks to come across. Pantelier now 3.9, and Vyasen now looks to have broken the rest of the pack. Vang now seen that it's a threat. 186, though. This is hanging over the handlebars type heart rates, everybody. They are doing everything they can, looking for every ounce of power to get back on terms. It's DDC and Canyon off the front, 2 seconds. Fusion and Callus looking to close it down. Phillips ain't doing nothing, though. He's sitting in and getting a free ride, knowing that it's the smart move not to close down to Vyasen now. It starts to open up here, and this is what it's about. You know, you get the gap. You see that the other riders do not have the effort. They try little kicks, but if you just be consistent here at this point, they will continue to open up this gap. And Vyasen can see that this is the moment of truth for this race. Dig Deep coaching with Dan Fleeman here is hanging on 4 meters. It looks like he's going to hang on to that gap now. And this is going to be the race on the last lap. It looks like it's going to be 2 racers versus the peloton. And it's, again, Canyon on the front. And there's nobody from DDC sitting in. So it's going to be interesting to see if the other riders here from Callus, BRT is in there as well. We're seeing Fusion ECT in there, Splunk there from Talbot. So with Talbot, it's going to be interesting to see if they do get organized and close this down. But with the 6-second gap now, I have a feeling that these 2 riders are going to work really well together. Not a solo rider off the front as we saw last time with Ollie Jones. Again, though, there's a lot of firepower, a lot of ammunition from Canyon out here today because we still have Phillips sitting in. We still got Alex West sitting in. Who else is in here from Canyon's ECC still? I believe that is going to be at Phillips and West still in here. But those are 2 of the strongest riders we've ever seen out on Zwift for the esports scene, and it is going to be Phillips, the UK national champion, sitting at the back, 3.9. He's got what a killer punch of a sprint that this rider has, as long as he gets the right wheel to ride on. And he can climb, obviously, as well, because where he won, where he did earn that jersey was on that Watopia reverse, actually. So we do know he can climb and then bring it into a sprint, actually. So Alex West, though, as well, one of the best climbers we've ever seen, won the climb up over the top of the Alpe to Zwift, actually, last year in the Zwift Academy race to the top. So Alex West, I would not be counting him out as well for a late attack because his threshold is so incredibly high. You know, he could, if they do get caught, Vyasen, there could be a counter, I would think, from Alex West, or maybe just a long, drawn-out sprint. He definitely has that as well. So these 2 riders from Canyon's ECC still to be watching out for. Now, other riders that we've been sitting in a lot, definitely something we want to talk about here in this A category because it's all about what's in the tank still out here today. For this A category, if we look at the watts per kilogram on average amongst the riders out here today, you know, we still have plenty of riders that have been sitting in and keeping it really smart and not been wasting too much of an effort so far. And if we do look through here, it is going to be 4.3 watts per kilogram. Actually, Vyasen here and Fleeman not matched up too well in the watts per kilogram. Vyasen, who's off the front with Dan Fleeman currently, has put out 4.3 watts per kilogram, while Dan Fleeman has put the bulk of the effort on the day at a 4.8. So up on the head here. Now, what is the gap out to at this point? It is only 4 seconds here. And so Dig Deep coaching with Fleeman now. Bang Anderson has made it across here as well, it looks like. And now there's 3, it looks like, that have made it in here. And with Fusion, with Vyasen, as well as Fleeman, this is a serious situation. But Vyasen here now falling off. He's got to give a kick here. Lionel, can he do it now? 11 watts per kilogram, 600 watts quickly here. He needs to get back on terms. Now we've got 3, and with Fusion involved here, now it's all on the Vikings and Callus, because those are the only 2 teams that have enough firepower perhaps to close things down. They're starting to just play the... It looks like they're playing for third at this point as Vang sits in, 4.4 watts per kilogram. They can't let this go out to more than 10 seconds because you can't really jump across 10 seconds too quickly. Once it gets out to that 10 to 15 seconds, orange numbers aren't going to do it easily. And it's going to be all about making this lead group here as the break has happened. 7 seconds. Bang Anderson continues to push the pace here. 176 beats per minute. Fusion ECT involved now at the front of their race. Bergen here now, 5.1 watts per kilogram, riding unattached. 162 beats per minute. Starts to just up the pace, getting into TT mode, trying to not allow that gap to get out too far. As they do make their way over the final lap here into the sprint section. Good to see everybody jumping into the broadcast. We're hearing Bobby McDowell saying Alex West for the win. Good to see the predictions. Let us hear your predictions as they are coming in here. Love to see those as we are heading into the final lap here, as we do see Bergen looking to push the pace and try and close things down to the 3 that are on the front. Yeah, so we are getting some questions here. This is a great great question actually coming on in as we are seeing over at the Twitch channel. For those of you that are over there, we can bring in all your chatter from all of the chats. Good to see to be here. Callus, a new team. Don't remember seeing that before yet. So for those of you that are unfamiliar with the Callus team, there was a recent split in the KISS Racing team. They're no bad blood or anything like that, you guys. There was just the reality that there was in real life sponsor that was related to some of the riders that were on the team. Not related, I don't think like family wise or anything, but just was known for in real life racing with some of those team members, wanted to get involved in esports, and they split off and made their own racing team called Callus. So be watching out for them. It's Callus ESRT. You can check them out over on zwiftpower.com. An official esports racing team, so ESRT. So be watching out for Callus to be making some moves. As far as those that are in the race out here today, we've got Morton Vang riding for Callus, as well as Vidar Mail is in there in this lead group. So those are two representatives out there. I can go ahead and bring up actually their main page here over on zwiftpower.com for who's all riding for them. It is a Norwegian team. It's Christian Oftedal, Morton Vang, Odd Erland Hansenberg, Old Christian Fagerly, Tom O'Kalen, Vidar Mail. So some of the heavy hitters actually, really the climbers and some good sprinters coming over from the KISS Racing team actually. Riding for Callus now. We do have the gap here still, and it looks like Lursveen here from the Vikings team does not want to be left out of this race here. 170 beats per minute. Here comes Lursveen hammering away in that blue and black kit here for in the Amgen Tour California kit that the Vikings do use out on course. Bergen here still trying to stay involved, but unable to do so. 4 seconds, 2 seconds. It looks like he's going to bring it back, and Lursveen, what an effort here coming from him as he looks to grab onto Viasen's wheel. 4 riders. If he can close it, Bang Anderson's not making it easy for him as Mad looks to push 6 watts per kilogram, does not want the rider coming up because this is a podium situation for free if they don't get across here. But now Kalman from Fusion, what is Kalman doing? He's almost putting a wrench. No, he backs it off to 1. So interesting to see. Maybe he was just following the move here of Alex West. Alex West, though, does not want to get left out of the picture here. He's starting to drag some of the other riders up here at this point, and the pushing of the pace here shuts things down. And interesting to see, you know, with the drafting here, and it's gonna be all brought back together. And it was Fusion and Canyon that actually shut things down. Perhaps there was a little bit of a conversation from Viasen saying, look, I'm not sure I can make this happen. Maybe they want West to take the win out here today. Not sure what happened there, but it looks like a little bit of miscommunication within the teams as Fusion with Kalman, as well as Canyon's ZCC rider West, shut down the group there, as it was 4 off the front, but perhaps it was all going to come back together anyways. They knew that. Phillips there, Viasen, as well as Alex West, still the 3 riders from Canyon ZCC. As far as the team still involved here at the front end of this race, let's go ahead and take a quick look through here as we do have our top 20 riders. It's Stian Lursveen riding for the Vikings, as well as Kjell Farup riding for the Vikings there. That's the 2 riders out there for Vikings. Oh, as well as Breg Bergen. Bergen's doesn't have a V next to his name in game, but he is definitely riding for the Vikings out there as well. So 3 Viking riders, watching out for them out on course to try and take the win that have made this front group. For Fusion ECT, we still got Jesper Adderman. Martin Lind is in there as well. Alexi Kalman, one of the strongest riders we've ever seen out on the Fusion races. Be watching out for him. We are seeing Soren Bay is out there, as well as Mads Bang Anderson. So 5 riders still for the Fusion team hanging tough in here. The only rider riding for Team Cryogen is going to be Sean Pentelier. Watch out for Sean Pentelier. He's been very active, though, in this front group so far. He was a part of a break here and there, did close down a couple of gaps here. Been fairly quiet, though, since then. He's put out, it looks like, Sean Pentelier for that Team Cryogen has put out a solid 4.5 watts per kilogram and averaged about 291 watts so far. A little bit of a break on the front there, Fusion ECT, as we do head into this right-hand turn. Let's go ahead and move forward and see what's happening with Mads Bang Anderson. 6.0 watts per kilogram has been super aggressive here so far. Zwift Team Poland is out there as well with Pierzga riding solo in this group without any other Team Poland riders there, actually. ZTPL looks like E-Racing out here, so hammering away. Watch out for them in that Team Poland kit. Been pretty quiet, Pierre's got. He's averaged 4.5 watts per kilogram. 4.3 watts per kilogram so far with a 281 watts. Also riding for Dig Deep Coach, we mentioned him quite a few times. It's going to be Dan Fleeman's made this front group. Callis with Vidar Mail, we did say, as well as Morton Vang. They've made the front group as well. Looking through anybody else that's made this. Nigel Clark, the solo rider from BRT. He did, I believe, in the last Fusion. He was in the top 10, actually, with the last Fusion league, and he didn't have that many races, actually. Watching out for Nigel Clark, perhaps, really focusing in on this series, and he'd be one of the dark horses, one of the wild cards, I think, out here, up against some of the stronger teams that have shown up with a lot of riders out here today. Nigel Clark, BRT, coming out of the UK. Looking through some of Nigel's past results, actually, we'll see where some of these riders have been standing when it comes to their recent results, actually. Nigel Clark is actually the maker and the owner of BRT on ZwiftPower.com. It does look like back on the 27th, that's 2 days ago, he took a third place in the 3R Watopia 65-kilometer race. He also won the XRS race on the Saturday Climbing Series with a solid 4.0 watts per kilogram, and won a 3R Richmond UCI Hilly race, actually, one lap back on the 21st. So he knows how to win on this course, it looks like. It is only a one lap, though, 3R race. Who was in and amongst the group there for Nigel? It looks like it was a solid effort against the BZR cycling team, as well as a Korean FTL team out there with the top three. So did win it by about 0.2 of a second, actually. So Nigel Clark knowing how to take the sprint out there. He does have a, just as a little bit of a fun fact, the pufferfish looks like what he's identifying with for his spirit animal out on Zwift. If you aren't in on the joke there, there is a lot of emojis amongst the Zwift racers at the higher end of the results, and it's pretty fun, actually. They put different emojis in next to their names over on ZwiftPower.com. Looks like Alex West identifying with the rhino out there, as well as Brake Birkin with the tortoise here. Vidar Mail, it looks like, as the moose. And Sean Pantelier, he's just got the pants on. He's wearing the pants, it looks like, for his emoji. So as they head in on toward the industrial park, Nigel Clark keeping things chill. Now up in the 5.2 watts per kilogram. Lionel Viasen here calming things down. It looks like it's all back together, and everybody's just looking toward Libby Hill out on course here today. So we're looking through. Could pick any of the Canyon ZCC riders, all capable of taking the win. We're hearing from Russell, S. Russell 73. Kitten and Bits saying, underdog Sean Pants takes the win. Kitten Little Bits, thanks a lot for the prediction. Thanks, everybody, for your predictions. Keep bringing them in. I will be highlighting them as they do come in. But you're going to have to do it soon, because the break is going to happen here quickly. If there is going to be one, it's going to be out on Libby. Then we're going to hit 23rd and Governor for the last time. Any predictions, going to want to put them in now, because the reality is things are about to get super hype in this A category racing right now. We are seeing Claudius Jacob Debski saying, keep up, Adam, as he is cheering on Team Poland, the solo rider there from Team Poland, ZTPL for E Racing. Again, for those of you are wondering, this is going to be our focus for Tuesdays for quite a while, actually. We will be, for those of you in the US of A, it will be 1 hour earlier than this one, as everybody changed their clocks a little bit differently than we did here in the US of A here on the fall back for the clocks, actually. So it will be 1:10 p.m. Central Standard Time rather than the 2:10 p.m. that we did have today. This is the only week that we will be having it at 2:10 p.m. Easy for Fleeman. We're hearing from Elda here as well. 5K to go from Bobby McDowell with 5K to go. We're going to come into this Libby Hill in just a moment here. Morton Vang now, 9.6 watts per kilogram as we head over toward the river section. A couple little undulations here. An early attack, actually. Who's going off the front? Interesting to see. Again, it's going to be Mads Bang Anderson. This guy just does not stop. He's got 4 seconds. This is a smart place to go. He's got to get a solid gap here. Vang from Callis, though, he's being put out to work here by the rest of the team here. Bergen's there as well. Maybe Bergen's the workhorse for Vikings out here today, looking to set up Lurstream or far up on the day. Canyon ZCC sitting in and just getting getting some easy wheels to follow here. But again, Bang Anderson, we've seen him do this before. I believe we saw him do that out on the 19 Worlds course as well for Yorkshire, as he did look to try and get away early on that course as well. So Mads Bang Anderson with almost 10 seconds. This is a serious threat. Now 10 seconds can be closed down so quickly though on Libby Hill. It's going to be all about what kind of a kick he's got over the top of that 1 minute. If he does hold onto a gap like this over the top though, and then has any kind of continuance over the top, he could be a threat here. I have a feeling though, if you roll the dice on this, probably not going to stick. There is so much talent behind him. Canyon ZCC, they've got a lot of firepower in there today. Callis there as well. The Vikings all together. This is maybe mainly a situation where they're trying to soften up the legs of the competition, perhaps, with so many riders in and amongst this group. Bang Anderson, we do look behind him. There's the hungry pack of wolves trying to hunt him down. And Bergen toward the front for the Vikings, trying to just keep the pace high enough. Now at the 12 seconds here, can he hold into this gap? Now 5.9 watts per kilogram. It's probably going to be a consistent 5 to 6 watts per kilogram. Not into the orange numbers though. 13 seconds though could be something he hangs on to. I have a feeling it's going to be shut down pretty quickly. He's going to have to put out a solid 110 or so up into the top of Libby. He's begun his climb on Libby. He's already up into 180 beats per minute. Bang Anderson, though, this guy from Fusion ECT, what a hard on him as he looks to try and take this race win solo off the front going into Libby Hill. We're hearing from Dovin here with the Team Experimental logo, actually. Good to see Dovin here, one, saying he gets a free ride up Lobby Hill as he's lobbying for first place, perhaps. Good to see you there, Dovin, one. Pushing that hard before the climb, certain death. We're hearing from Lewis Govey. Lewis, the Frit is saying he will call it in the first hill. He's saying as well. Tepolobium here saying soon it's time for the red numbers. Good to see all the comments coming on through here. And here comes the red numbers as we are seeing. Lind here from Fusion ECT. Well, look at this. A little bit calmer this time, though, everybody. We're only seeing 5.3 watts per kilogram. Without Philip Diner in amongst here, he was the real instigator here. 4 seconds is the difference. Nigel Clark, though, 7 watts per kilogram. Here we go. Dan Fleeman now as they hit the cobbles. Austin's there as well. 10 watts per kilogram. This is the real attacks now. Lionel Austin really starting to push the pace now. Dig Deep coaching with Dan Fleeman's there as well. And it looks like the predictions were right there as Fleeman and Austin look to turn the screws to the front. The close onto Anderson. Will he even be able to hang on now? And Lone Ranger saying he's just absolutely done. Adamant from Fusion. Orange number still coming from Adamant as they look to take the final climb over the top here. What kind of times are we seeing? Looks like nobody able to break Bergen's time, though, out there out on course. One rider did fall off pace. Is that going to be Nor, actually, from Fusion? Looks like no, it is Mads Bang Anderson, and the prediction was right. Certain death is for sure after trying to get away before Libby Hill, and the reality of the clobbles has crushed this rider. He's fallen off the back, and he will not see the front end again because we're going to see nothing but crazy attacks from here on out. The haymakers are about to go. He's on the ropes and out for the count now, it looks like. Now to the front here, it's going to be Kalman, one of the strongest riders we've seen amongst the Fusion Racing Series. Will he be able to take it down again here? He's shown us time and again why he was in that top spot over and over again, week in and week out, taking the wins. Will he be able to hang on and prove himself out here today? Because Canyon ZCC has shown up. They still got 3 riders. Austin Phillips is here as well. And Alex West, the one who's been quiet this entire time, just following wheels. And I think he has been the rider they've been working for. He's been their GC rider, their rider that they've just been really keeping calm, keeping safe, making sure that he's always involved in the breaks at each and every section here. So be watching out for Alex West. I have a feeling it's all riding on his shoulders. But Nigel Clark, BRT, 7 watts per kilogram now, 456 now, 174 beats per minute now. Is there a break happening behind? That's going to be the question here. Let's go ahead and take a look at the helicopter view. Behind the Vikings, just trying to get back on terms. There's James Phillips hanging in. The Norwegian national champions there as well. Just behind, it looks like Mail grabbing back on terms to this main pack here. Now we are seeing it looks like Orr from CLS UK in that Team CLS kit riding solo amongst these riders. Will one of these riders here that have not had the support, it'll be interesting to see as they get into that super tug, 0 watts per kilogram on this downhill. Lursveen now also in the super tug looking for that extra speed. If you did not know, the riders do get a little bit of extra speed in that super tug. It's like activating an aero power up. You've got to be over 33 miles per hour. and on a 3% or downhill gradient or more, and that's why they are getting into that. You drop to 0 watts per kilogram, then increase that speed as you come on through. Back on the flatter sections of the course here. This is going to be it. We're coming into it. Who would have thought after 3 laps out on the UCI Richmond Worlds course, it's all about the Governor Hill Street climb, and it's going to be about this essentially a long, drawn-out kick to the finish line, because as soon as you start Governor Street, you start getting into that 6 to 7 watts per kilogram in this A category, and then you have to be able to kick after climbing for a minute to a minute and a half. Who's going to be able to have this? It's such a difficult finish line out here today. You've got to be able to go VO2 for well over a minute and then head down and sprint. One of the most painful things you can do out on Zwift is this 2015 UCI Richmond's course finish on Governor Street. Soren Bay toward the front here now, as you can see. It's going to be Pantler from Cryogen starting to push the pace here. There's Vyasen now toward the front. Canyon ZCC showing us what they've got. Now the Vikings look to lead things out. These early attacks, though, can really put you over what you need to be doing here. You've got to commit full on all the way to the finish line if you're going to lead things out, because these riders are going to be getting a little bit of a benefit from you leading them out. There is some draft on these climbs. Now we are seeing toward the front here. It's going to be Vyasen still taking over. No, actually it's the Vikings here taking over. Nigel Clark there in the black kit, though, right behind on the orange Tron bike. But Kerry Farb for the Vikings here, really trying to turn the screws to the front here. Now we see Fleeman in the red and black kit now making his way, as you can see. Dan Fleeman now. Dan Fleeman taking over the front here. It's about to be a left-hand turn in just a second here on to the finishing straight. Dan Fleeman's got the gap. Vyasen sees it as the threat here. Vyasen follows quickly here. Fleeman on the Cervelo there. There goes Vyasen here on the Canyon bike now with that dish in the back. He's got a 1 second gap here. Lynn trying to follow it up, and it looks like it's going to be Fleeman and Vyasen. Is anybody going to have a kick to the line against these riders? But no, they just continue on. Like I said, a long, drawn-out sprint. Vyasen jumps on the Fleeman's wheel. Fleeman's got to break him now because Vyasen's getting the gap. Is in that wheel here at this point. Vyasen's getting the draft, but will he have a kick over the top here? Line Vyasen, 12 watts per kilogram. Vyasen showing why he's one of the strongest riders on Zwift. Comes over the top with 11 watts per kilogram. Fleeman unable to hold on, and it's going to be Vyasen, Canyon ZCC to the line. Dig Deep Coaching, then Soren Bay for third. What an effort there from Lionel Vyasen, absolutely demolishing Governor Street, full on Sagan style, actually, just like it was won in real life, because he just kicked over the top of Governors and continued to the line. Amazing. You know, I know Sagan, he went over on, I understand, Sagan actually went on 23rd, excuse me, but it's somewhat similar with the drawn-out sprint there, everybody. Amazing result there coming through for Lionel Vyasen and Canyon ZC. Dig Deep Coaching with Dan Fleeman across the line, and then Soren Bay, Fusion ECT. Great race all around for those A category riders. All right, let's go ahead and jump in. This is a community race, guys. We did focus a lot, obviously, on the A category the entire time. But let's go ahead and jump in with this B category as they're making the way around out on course here. It's going to be N. Lawson sitting in first place currently, as well as Kroll. We'll get the results up for the A category in just a moment, followed up by a little bit of chatter about what's going on with the rest of the series on these Tuesdays. But let's make sure we catch what's happening up on the top of Libby Hill for this B category. We'll get the replay for you as well as what happened there in that A category. Huge racing, great predictions out there. Canyon ZCC was the prediction from a lot of the riders out there, and you were right if you did predict that. Lawson here now, 6.8 watts per kilogram, though, coming from this B category out of the UK. Looks like Schiolden here as well from the DBR team. Kroll now making the way to the front here. Schiolden now, DBR, leading things out. Lynn, though, it looks like, as well as Linda from the Vikings now, turning over the top here. Looks like we got about 10 riders here. Fusion, V Fox there with Kevin Blades now. We are seeing as well. Good to see Kevin Blades, longtime viewer, I think, as well. Always good to see the viewers jumping into the races. So keep up the solid work there, Blades. But it looks like with a 1 second gap, Lawson looking to try and get away with Lind here. Not sure going to be able to do it as Bouillon here coming out of Belgium closes things down. No, 2 off the front, actually. They got a 1 second gap, but I think the pack behind is going to have enough firepower and just raw speed from the downhill to hang on to the wheels of these 2 riders. So I'm not sure these B category riders are going to be getting away out here today. In the C category, though, I'm going to see if we can bring in what's happening with the C category in just a minute, everybody, as they're looking to finish up their race. we've lost him for just a second here, but I think we will be able to find him. I am sitting with about 31st place or so in that C category. So we have found them out on course. Looks like they're having a solid ride here in about 20th place with Wilhelmsen. It looks like they're heading on over toward the downhill into the industrial park here in just a minute. Jay Blythe is there as well from the NTR team. Jay McGuire is there. It looks like as they head downhill into the industrial park. Gerber here, though, sitting in first place. It looks like 27 miles into their race, 144. It looks like with a 1 second gap here in the C category. Permer there on the Netherlands and Ferglard there as well. Christian McDonald there 1 second back. So a solid group here, it does look like, of about 6 or 7 riders here with Christian McDonald here, one of the riders we were talking about to be watching out for the C category win out there. So let's see how things end up between these riders. Let's go have a quick look before we head into the final for the B category. We'll take a look. Actually, they're actually heading into their final kick here. So let's go ahead and hand it over there before we take a look at the results for the A's. It does look like Bowen here now, out of the US of A, heading on into this final downhill before the Governor Street left-hand turn into some of this, some of the business section here of the course. He's got a cool little visor on actually there. Loving all the new setups, kits in game for the riders. Absolutely loving what Zwift has done there. Kay Larson here coming through for Fusion Development now, as it is going to be a ride though toward the front now. A little ways up. Nobulon now taking over here out of Belgium as they head into that final kick over the top of Governors. A little bit different, most likely, over the top of this climb. A little bit different tactics, perhaps, in the B category. We'll see. I have a feeling it's going to be more of a more of a steady effort to the top, and then a kick to the line is going to be my prediction for this category. Scholden here from DBR out of Denmark, making his way to the front before they hit the official, well, not so much official as there is no marker actually out on course, but they do hit that 5% gradient. Here we go into Governor Street, and it looks like the Irishman here now, it looks like Constantine here now making their way to the front. No, it's going to be Lawson now taking over. 3.7 watts per kilogram coming from Lawson now. Scholden here, DBR now. It looks like Constantine here now taking over. Kay Blades though from Vixen Fox now in that purple and orange Vixen Fox kit now, and on that Tron bike. Steady effort, 74 RPM, as you can see, is taking on that 8% gradient, though. The rider's just grinding out on those smart trainers here. Karlik, though, for race 3R. Watch out for him out of the Netherlands here as he comes through in that World Bicycle Relief kit. Now, on the kick now, it looks like Jarlik here now. Race 3R really starting to put the pace on. 174 B sprint, 500 watts. He's got a gap. Heiberg here. Fusion Dev, knowing that this may be a threat, looking to close it down. Kroll's there as well. Fusion Dev with 2 riders, still able to hang on to the pace here in that Wahooligan kit. The blue Wahooligan kit is what the Fusion Dev are using in game. Hang on to the wheel of Jarlik. Karlik here now, maybe regretting the effort there a moment ago, because he may be up on the top of his threshold, and we'll see if he's still got a kick to the line as the riders are just getting a free ride on his wheel here. Bowen now 6.7 watts per kilogram with that visor on, starting to kick now. Kroll now making his way backwards though as we head forward. It looks like Karlik still's got the effort. 3R now. Now it's going to be all about waiting to the final second for the kick here. Here comes Lindo out of Denmark, up and out of the saddle, 483 watts. Wait for the right moment here. Kicking to the line. 300 meters to go. Looks like he's got it here. Boulens, though, Belgium trying to come across. He's got no wheel to hang on to. It's got to be raw watts and not a draft here at this point. Kay Lin, though, to the line. Boul unable to come through, but it's going to be Larson here. It looks like Kay Larson to the line. Fusion Dev is going to take it down. It's up against the Irishman, but unable to close that gap down as Larson comes through and takes the win, it looks like, here in that B category. What a drawn-out sprint this is, though, to the line. Solid result there for Kay Larson with a gap, with enough room most likely to throw his hands in the air as he comes across there for the B category out on course. C category just making the way up on the top of Libby. So let's take a quick look at the replays here as we do look at the results in just a second for the race out here today. Solid result though for Larson. Boulan, I think, came across for second on the day. But for the sprint out there, solid efforts here all around. And let's see if we can bring that on in for everybody, as the sprint there with View Awesome was absolutely insane. the way that they came to the line here. And here it is. There's Lionel Viasin, the final kick he had. It was Fleeman who tried to make it happen. With that 11, that solid 9 watts per kilogram up on the top of Governor Street. But Viasin had the kick to get the gap there, and it looks like Deep Coach able to hang on. James Phillips, as you can see here, a little ways behind, was leading out Soren Bay. But it looks like Phillips was unable to come through with any kind of a sprint because of Governor Street climb there. And Viasin there right to the line, able to take things down, followed up by Deep Coach's Dan Fleeman. And then it is obviously the next one across the line going to be Soren Bay. So here are those results. It is going to be Lionel Viasin with a solid result there. 1 second up from Dan Fleeman. Soren Bay coming through at 2 seconds back. Look at the gaps here as not quite as close because of that Governor Street. James Phillips there, Canyon ZCC. Look at Canyon ZCC, 3 in the top 5 though. Callis there with Verdar Mail. Solid result for Callis Esports Racing Team actually. Good to see them with the result in their first race amongst the priority events. Jesper Adamman there for Fusion ECT in 7th, and it's going to be Sean Pantler rounding out in 8th for Team Cryogen, 4 seconds back. Mark Lind, Fusion ECT, and then it's going to be David Talbot for Team Splunk. Solid result there, David Talbot. And putting those boys on the board. In the B category, we just saw Kenneth Larson coming across the line there, less than a second up from Michael Considine there for the sprint out of Ireland there, and it's going to be Michael Heiberg, Fusion Development there for 3rd. Frederick Bouline there for the BZR cycling team out of Belgium, Casper Lind, and then 5th place. Jacek Karlik, he made that attack late over the top of Governor Street climb, but was able to hang on to it. And Kenneth Larson, timing things well, made that kick, it looked like, in the last 200 meters there. Christian Morganson there for Fusion Diev, it looks like, followed up by Ned Bowen in 8th. Kevin Blades, solid effort there from Kevin Blades for Vixen Fox team, and it's going to be Nicola Christensen coming through for 10th. Now, with these longer races, everybody, a little bit of patience is going to be required. There is a reality that the C and the B categories out there are going to be, these races are the distances for these races a lot longer out there than most of the C and the B, the C, and the D categories are used to. So it will be a little bit longer broadcast out there as we do cover these community events, but we definitely want to highlight everybody in the community. It's not just about the highest end of the racing. It is about developing the esports side of things, but we definitely want everybody amongst all the categories to get their shot in the limelight here. So Jay Pollard here now coming out of France, leading things out. 5.3 watts per kilogram. Will not be able to take the category win though, as he does have no heart rate on. So it's going to be Christian McDonald here hanging on out of the US of A. 144 beats per minute here. Trying to get the better of Furgeland here, but Furgeland now it looks like out of Norway with Awasos out of Germany. Only 3 seconds back, and this might not have been the best move here for Christian, as I have a feeling he's going to have to really hold on to this gap to the line here. And Christian now 5.0 watts per kilogram. It's going to be on him to hold on to that 28 meters. That's all he's got at this point. Up against the rest of the riders here. Can he keep this gap to the line? It's going to be everything he's got hanging over the handlebars, kind of an effort actually, as the riders behind here can taste that blood and water here. 4.2 is all he's got. Maybe perhaps if they do close it down, Christian can just fade climb into a wheel and then have a kick to the line in the last 200 meters though, but it's going to be all about whether or not he's got anything left here. Turn without a heart rate monitor on, will not be able to take a category win though, so it'll be interesting to see between the rest of the riders that do have the right setups here if they're going to be able to make it to the line. A lot of these riders maybe just jumping in for the workout and not in it for the series. I know Christian McDonald though, he said he was in it for the series here, and I have a feeling he really wants this win out here today, because last time amongst these riders, amongst the Fusion League, he just missed out on first place, I believe, up against some of the other racers out there. I think it's going to be between him and the Norwegian rider here. Fugler right here. Now, can he hang on? 4.4 watts per kilogram. It's going to be right to the line here. McDonald was looking to fade climb, but he's got to grab on the wheel. It looks like Fugler now trying to get away here. The Frenchman Pollard's away, but it's not going to be an official result as he does not have a hard runner on. 5.4 watts per kilogram here. Are they within category limits is going to be the other question. We'll make a quick little check here before we make it to the line. Christian McDonald's up on the 2.9. Tor Atle Fugler is within the limits here at 3.2 here. Christian McDonald's got to close it down. Looks like he's doing so. He's making it so difficult on himself, not holding on to the wheels to get into this section. He's got to make a kick to the line here. Fergalog's fading now here. It's going to be between these three riders for the sprint because Stern's off the back here. He's got to kick now, though, in order to get this win. Fergalog's up and out of the saddle. Christian McDonald now 6.2 watts per kilogram, as we can see, coming through 9 watts per kilogram. Christian McDonald, what a kick to the line here. Orange numbers are making it happen. 11 watts per kilogram, and it looks like the rider just took down his first win in the C category. Solid result there for Christian McDonald. As we wait for the results to populate, let's take a quick little look over at the chat here, everybody. What did you guys think of the first Fusion ECT race out here today? It's been a lot of fun broadcasting it. Well ridden. Lots of nice little chatter coming on through here, coming from Ray Space. We're also seeing Vyasin, the best tactics. Fleeman, the best effort. We're hearing from Tom Bouverie. Wow, what a race here coming from Kitten Little Bits here. Great finish from Bob McDonald. Thanks, everybody, for all the comments through here. Awesome work. Overall average power wasn't crazy, but those kicks were amazing every lap here coming from CS Tricks. Guys, if you haven't checked out Casey Shaw, CS Tricks over on Twitch, make sure to do so, as well as all the other riders that are over on Twitch that are currently broadcasting. Make sure to search up Zwift as a category for a game over there, and you'll be able to find them and get all of the current racers and riders that are streaming any kind of Zwift racing. It's always cool to see the first-person perspective. Casey Shum, longtime streamer, actually used to stream here for our rider perspectives and races out on ZCL, early days of ZCL, actually. So good to see him hanging out into the broadcast here. A lot more coming through. Justin Carlick saying, awesome race, guys. Great effort out there, Carlick. Amazing job. Vidar Mayo coming on through with some emojis. Appreciate the hard faces there coming on through. VCZT rider Power Simon. We're hearing from Lewis Go V. We're hopefully we'll see more of the VZT riders out there. Thanks, an amazing stream. No problem there, Race Space. Thanks for jumping on in. No problem, Chris Schulm. Appreciate you hammering away. Nice sprint out there, Chris Schulm. Amazing result out there, taking down that C category. Let's go ahead and take a quick look at the C category results as they are getting populated here. I have a feeling might take a little while for them to populate, as I'm not sure all the riders in that C category were registered over on ZwiftPower.com. We're waiting for them to load up here, and it looks like Chrisholm, according to our results here, he's the solo rider off the front here. No, we're seeing Tor out, I believe Tor out, Fergalad, as well as Walter Permer, I believe, is in the results. But they're at 3.3 and a 3.4 watts per kilogram, so there's still a few riders to finish, actually. They're a little ways back. I think Charlie, Ryan NTR, as well as Robert Orr are about to finish up their C category as well. So David Muncaster, as well as Joy McGuire, Michael Peterson, Michael Sharp, as well as Jamie Blythe NTR, Stal Herma from the Vikings, they're all in there as well. So waiting for them to finish up, and solid race between them. I've lost the feed for them at this moment, though, so we'll see if we can. Does look like Ryan did just come across the finish line. We'll see if we can get an updated results page here in just a second, as I am reloading things here. It does look like ZwiftPower.com is looking to update. It looks like it's going to be another 11 seconds before we do so. It's 30 seconds to each one of the updates as they do come through. So, all right. So next up, though, for the broadcast, everybody, we will be here for Tuesdays for sure. My name is Nathan Garrett, if you're unfamiliar with it, hosting all of the ZCL racing, currently Zwift Community Live Racing. If you hit that follow button, we are live on Facebook, Twitch, as well as YouTube. We will be re-upping our Mixer feed as well. If you do prefer to watch over on Mixer, you can go ahead and do so. Head on over to Mixer.com. There is a Zwift Community Live space there as well. It doesn't look like we're going to get an update here anytime soon for the results just yet. As it's taking a little while for ZwiftPower.com. As I am looking through here, waiting still for a few of the riders to finish up. Looking through here, I am going to give you guys a quick. Here we go. This is the results here now as they do come on in. So it does look like it is going to be Charlie Ryan making a solid effort there for second place, followed up by Robert Orr coming in for third. Joey McGuire there coming in for fourth, and it's Michael Peterson followed up by Michael Scharf. That is the results there coming in for the C category all the way through sixth place. Now, if you're not sure what we're broadcasting, this is Tuesday races. Fusion ECT World of Fusion Racing League. Next up, we're going to be out on Watopia November 5th next week. That is going to be 1:10 p.m. Central Standard Time, 7:10 p.m. Your UK time. So make sure to tune in for that. Hit that follow button on all the places that we are live. If you are looking for the VODs, you want to watch your race back, you can watch it on any of those places. YouTube's always the best place to do that, most likely. Thanks everybody for watching. As always, you guys, really appreciate all of the comments and the viewers out there. Great job to all the racers out there. And as always, everybody, ride on.